In New Delhi, India is tightening the quality control for the consumers and the capital goods, a move that follows the calls to curb the cheap import from China aimed at diplomatic tension between the two world's most populous nations over their shared border before 2 months. The new rules target toys, electronic goods, machineries, food processing, constructions and chemicals, sector dominated by China, and come aimed great scrutiny of the mainland firms looking to enter India's multi-billion-dollar power transmissions and telecom businesses. For India's toys retailers, who imports everything from the toy cars to the musical phones and even robots from China, the new requirement have meant supply disruptions just ahead of the Diwali festival season in India. The government's Bureau of Indian Standards, or the BIS, has approximately 23,000 standards across the industries, many of which are never fully enforced, official says. And the government departments have been asked to carry out the laboratory test and spot the inspection to ensure the goods conform to the regulations. We have started this work on a war footing to have a quality control orders for almost every product that we are consuming in the country, said Ramesh Abhishek, who is the head of the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotions. The new rules apply to both the foreign manufacturers and the domestic firms. However, the two people familiar with the trade policy who did not want to be named said the sector targeted are ones in which the China controls more than two-thirds of its market, such as the toys and stainless steel goods industries, where there have been a chronic complaints of substandard products. Separately, Indian Steel Secretary Aruna Sharma said her department will soon release the new guidelines, raising the quality norm for the welded steels and stainless steels pipes that are used in the oil and the gas as well as the construction sectors. There is evidence of China exporting semi-finished and finished goods using the stainless steels that do not meet the BA standards, said Sharma. India's Trade Minister did not respond to the reporter's request for the comment on new rules. China's Foreign Minister referred questions to the Commerce Ministry, which did not immediately respond to the request for the comment. Bilateral trade between India and China boomed to $71.4 billion in 2016-17, from $1.83 billion in 1999 to 2000, though most of this is skewed to Chinese exports. The trade deficit has widened to $51.1 billion over the past year, a nine-fold increase over the last decade, despite the repeated Indian calls for China to address the imbalance and open its markets. Those trade differences are now being amplified by the resurfacing of a long-running border dispute, which has stirred the protectionist and sentiments in India. In June of 2017, a nationalist group tied to Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi's ruling party began a campaign to discourage the use of Chinese goods in the country. But reducing the Chinese goods in India will be devastating for India's economy, as 85% of every product has Chinese-made goods, and Indian rules or the campaign will not change or only will affect the Indian economy and the Indian people in the near future. So what do you think of the new rules? Will this disrupt India's economy, or China will gain more out of other countries and India will be lacking behind every country again and again?
Middle-income countries face a unique set of fiscal challenges. Investing in physical and social infrastructure is crucial for development, stability, and financing the budget. But raising capital is not easy. Governments must fund the projects at the lowest possible cost, with limited resources, deepening domestic markets, borrowing internationally, and developing capacity to handle more complex financial instruments.
The World Bank Treasury Advisory is uniquely positioned in the government debt management field because we use what we call a practitioner-to-practitioner model. It's practical, it's pragmatic, we share our own skills because we do exactly what debt management offices and ministries of finance do. We manage about $200 billion of a debt portfolio for IBRD, one of the member institutions of World Bank. We manage another $500 billion of a derivatives portfolio that we use for hedging, for asset and liability management. So my colleagues and I like that we can share this knowledge from a practical point of view with our clients in debt management offices and in ministries of finance.
The World Bank Treasury Government Debt and Risk Management Program supports partner countries for all government debt and risk management related needs. Once countries become part of the Government Debt and Risk Management Program, they receive just-in-time technical assistance from practitioner experts for all debt management needs.
The GDRM program, I think, unlike many other programs, is offering programmatic support. What we value very much is that it is a learning program. So there is a constant dialogue between the partner countries, the World Bank and SECO.
The program covers the full spectrum of debt management activities. So it includes, for example, the development of a debt management strategy, the implementation of a such strategy that may include work on developing an annual borrowing plan, on the development of the domestic market, but also accessing the international capital markets, derivatives markets, and so on. Also incorporate the risks that come from the contingent liabilities and bring this comprehensive view of the assets and liabilities management.
GDRM program's approach is based on providing expertise, building trust, and long-term relationships.
World Bank has expertise, and it is not just the expertise within the bank itself, but also the relationships that bank have through member states of the bank, and therefore the expertise that are in debt management offices around the world.
Peer learning is an important part of the GDRM experience, connecting countries facing similar issues and providing a platform for in-depth exchange of ideas and experiences.
We also recognize that because of the skill level of the consultants, they actually learned and understood the contextual situation of Ghana, because every country is different. So you will notice that the attention to detail and how they went on the program with us was a recognition of our country context.
The programmatic approach that we adopt is to undertake a diagnostic of the country, then develop a reform plan, a work program in collaboration with the country representatives, but then also to be there with them during the implementation of those reforms. To support middle-income countries in becoming more resilient against fiscal shocks, this is what the whole GDRM program is about.
In China, the 40-kilometer trip from home to the airport takes 8 minutes, but only if you ride the Shanghai Maglev at 430 kilometers per hour. This train is currently the fastest passenger train in the world, and it's in China. High-speed rail hasn't been zipping across China for long, only a decade in fact. The trains originated in Japan in 1964. Then the whole world was on board with the benefits of high-speed rail technology. In 2006, China implemented its 15-year scientific and technological development plan and paved the way for advanced technologies like high-speed trains. Since then, China's broken many records on the railways. Annual Chinese rail ridership peaked at over 1.44 billion people in 2016. The highest railway in the world is Qingdang. It travels through the Tangula Pass, 5,072 meters above sea level. This is the world's highest point of travel with a train. So why is China still invested in high-speed rail? Well, high-speed rail can help boost economies. There are over 2,000 high-speed train hubs connecting almost every large city in China with a rail network that covers 22,000 kilometers. If you combine all of the railway lines in China, it would loop around the world twice. But the international high-speed rail race continues, and China is developing new record-breaking high-speed trains, one that could go as fast as 600 kilometers per hour. That means you may soon be able to make that trip to the airport in less time than it takes to book a plane ticket, or get dressed, or make toast, or make your bed, or boil water, or pack your bags. Liu Xing, Yu Kuai, bon voyage!
Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.